All right, get ready because we're about to take a deep dive into the 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma.
And what a fascinating book it is.
Yeah, I mean, you've given us this blend of self-help and philosophy and even a little adventure thrown in.
It's quite clever how Sharma blends fiction with real-world wisdom.
Right, and that's what we're going to unpack today.
Absolutely.
But before we jump into the nitty-gritty, why don't we set the scene a little bit?
Yeah, let's do that.
So the book starts with three very different characters who meet at this seminar.
We have a struggling entrepreneur kind of hiding her desperation,
Uh-huh.
a skeptical artist battling self-sabotage,
Oh, I can relate to that.
and then, most intriguingly, there's this homeless man wearing a $100,000 watch.
Now, wait a minute. If I saw someone like that, I think my radar would be going off.
Yeah, you and me both.
Who is this guy?
Right. Well, it turns out he's not just some eccentric. He's actually a billionaire in disguise.
Oh, okay.
And he's about to turn their lives upside down
Oh, so...
with an invitation to his private island.
So it's more than just like a luxurious getaway, right?
Wow, much more.
He's promising to reveal the secrets of this 5 a.m. club.
Exactly.
Would you take that leap of faith?
It's an intriguing question.
I think so.
On the one hand, you have the chance to learn from someone who's clearly achieved incredible success.
Wow.
But on the other hand, you're stepping into the unknown with a total stranger.
I think that's what makes the book so compelling.
Yeah.
You know, it plays on that tension.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the 5 a.m. philosophy. It's about these characters' journeys as they grapple with these ideas.
And I think that's what makes it so relatable. It's not just some abstract concept. It's real people with real challenges trying to find a way to overcome them.
Right. And speaking of the 5 a.m. philosophy, why don't we get to the heart of it?
Okay.
What's so crucial about waking up at 5 a.m.? I mean, is there really magic in that hour?
Well, the book really emphasizes owning your morning before the world makes demands on your time.
Before the chaos starts.
Exactly. It's about creating a space for yourself where you can elevate your life, your productivity, creativity,
Personal growth.
all of that. So it's not just about being this like super achiever. It's about taking control.
Absolutely. It's about taking control of your day and ultimately your life.
Now, the billionaire character, Mr. Riley, he credits his success to this philosophy.
He does, and it's interesting because he learned it from his mentor, this intriguing character called the Spellbinder,
Okay.
who helped him recover from a really intense period of burnout.
So a mentor within a mentor?
Exactly. It's like this double dose of wisdom.
Wow.
But let's face it, most of us hit the snooze button at least once.
Oh, at least.
How does the book address the challenge of actually making this 5 a.m. thing stick?
Well, it mentions the 66-day minimum, right?
Yes.
The time it takes to solidify a new habit.
Exactly, 66 days.
66 days.
Mr. Riley, or rather the billionaire, emphasizes that small daily improvements consistently applied over time can lead to stunning results.
Small changes. Yeah, he actually compares it to training for a marathon, not a sprint.
It's about those small wins adding up over time.
Exactly.
But I'm curious, isn't there a risk of burning out? I mean, if you're always pushing yourself, does the 5 a.m. club promote that kind of always-on mentality?
That's a really good question, and that's actually where things get interesting.
Okay.
The book actually emphasizes the importance of recovery as much as it emphasizes productivity.
So the 5 a.m. club is not about pushing yourself to the limit 24/7.
No, not at all.
Okay.
It's about finding that sustainable rhythm between high performance and deep recovery.
So could taking more breaks actually make you more productive?
That's the idea.
Interesting.
The book even encourages things like zero-device days and regular vacations to really fully recharge and come back stronger.
This is starting to sound a lot less intimidating, more like a recipe for a fulfilling life, not just a productive one.
Absolutely.
It seems like there's a deeper layer to this 5 a.m. club, more than just getting a head start on your to-do list.
Absolutely. It's about mastering your mindset, which the book argues is even more important than mastering your time.
Now, this is where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
Mr. Riley introduces this concept of the 4 interior empires.
That's right. Mindset, heart set, health set, and soul set.
So it's not just about external achievements.
No, it's about cultivating inner peace and fulfillment as well.
So it's not just about winning the game, it's how you feel while you're playing it.
Exactly. The book really challenges you to ask yourself, are you just going through the motions, or are you truly living?
That is a powerful question.
It is, and it's one that those early morning hours might be a good time to ponder.
Yeah, to really reflect.
That's like tending to your inner garden before the distractions of the day take over.
Now, remember how Mr. Riley had his own mentor, the Spellbinder?
Right.
Well, the Spellbinder, he has his own framework for a better world and personal fulfillment, something he calls the heroic human circle.
And it's a set of virtues he believes are crucial for anyone who wants to make a positive impact.
Okay, like,
Authenticity, integrity, courage, service, and growth.
so it's not just about personal success, it's about using that success to make a difference in the world around you.
Exactly. And that's where the 5 a.m. club comes full circle, you know?
Hmm.
By owning your morning and mastering your mindset, you unlock the potential to not only elevate your own life, but also contribute to something larger than yourself.
It is a pretty inspiring idea.
It is.
The Spellbinder believes leadership isn't just for CEOs, it's for anyone who wants to leave a positive mark on the world.
This raises a question for you.
Yeah, oh.
What's your unique contribution? What impact do you want to make?
Something to think about maybe during those early morning reflection sessions.
Maybe.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's rewind a bit.
Okay.
We started with this homeless billionaire and his mysterious watch.
Ah, yes. Just a glimpse into the many surprises and twists that await these characters. And you, as you delve deeper into the 5 a.m. club.
So we've explored the why of this 5 a.m. club idea, this idea of owning your morning and tapping into your full potential. But let's get practical.
Okay.
How do we actually make this happen? How do we drag ourselves out of bed when it's still dark out?
Well, remember those 5 kind of cryptic rules inscribed on those golden tablets that the entrepreneur and the artist received?
Oh, yeah, the ones that seem to hint at the philosophy we've been discussing.
Exactly. Those were the billionaire's way of preparing them for what he calls the 5 a.m. method, a system for really maximizing those precious morning hours.
Sounds like a secret society
Maybe it is.
for early risers.
And it's really about equipping yourself with the tools and techniques to make the most of that time.
Okay.
One of the most intriguing ideas I think the book introduces is this concept of capitalization.
Capitalization, does that mean like taking advantage of an opportunity?
It's a little more nuanced than that.
Okay.
It's about how you perceive and respond to events in your life,
Yeah.
especially setbacks. The book argues that you can choose to see challenges as opportunities for growth, even when it's difficult.
So instead of getting bogged down by negativity, you're actively looking for the silver lining, the lesson, the potential for growth.
Precisely. It's about shifting your perspective and recognizing that even difficult experiences can be valuable teachers.
This reminds me of that saying, like, the world is a mirror reflecting back to us what we believe about ourselves.
Exactly. And the book dives into the science behind this, highlighting the power of the self-fulfilling prophecy.
Self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay, now that sounds a little intimidating. What exactly does that mean?
Well, it's the idea that we often subconsciously adopt thinking patterns, from our early influences, parents, teachers, friends, and then we act in accordance with those beliefs.
So if someone grew up believing they weren't good at math, they might shy away from challenges in that area, unintentionally proving their initial belief to be true.
That's a great example. But the good news is we have the power to rewire those thought patterns and create a new, more empowering reality.
So capitalization is about consciously choosing a more positive and productive mindset.
Exactly.
Even when faced with obstacles.
Even when faced with obstacles, it's about taking ownership of our reactions.
And the quiet space of that 5 a.m. hour could be a great time to practice that.
Absolutely, before these distractions take over.
Now, the book also talks about something called learned victimhood. Is that kind of like the opposite of capitalization?
I think you could say that, yeah.
Okay.
Learned victimhood is that tendency to become complacent and blame external factors for our struggles.
It's about playing the victim role instead of taking ownership of our lives.
Exactly. It's about recognizing the difference between what we can and cannot control.
Right. We can't always control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond.
Precisely. And the 5 a.m. Club encourages us to shift from that victim mentality to a more empowered state.
Okay, so this whole mental game is fascinating, but I'm also curious about the practical side of the 5 a.m. routine. What specific steps does the book suggest to make this a reality?
Well, it offers several techniques, but one we touched on earlier is the 20-20-20 formula.
Right. 20 minutes of exercise, 20 minutes of reflection, and 20 minutes of learning.
Each component is strategically designed to prime your mind and body for peak performance.
So let's break down each of those 20-minute pockets.
Okay.
First up, exercise. What kind of exercise are we talking about?
The book emphasizes intense exercise.
Okay.
Think wind sprints, jumping jacks, anything that gets your heart pumping, your blood flowing.
I can already feel my resistance kicking in.
I know.
But why is it so important to start the day with such an intense burst of activity?
The science behind it is really compelling.
Okay.
Intense exercise boosts dopamine and serotonin, those neurotransmitters that make us feel driven and happy.
Oh, so it's like a natural mood booster and energy shot rolled into one. No wonder Mr. Riley swears by it.
Exactly.
Okay, so what about those next 20 minutes dedicated to reflection?
This is your time to journal, meditate, visualize your goals, or just sit in quiet contemplation. It's about connecting with your inner self and finding clarity before the demands of the day take hold.
Like a mini meditation retreat, but in your own home.
Exactly. It's about creating that space for yourself to get centered. And then finally, we have that last 20 minutes dedicated to learning.
Ah, feeding your brain with some intellectual fuel. What are some examples of activities that fit into this category?
It could be reading insightful books, listening to inspiring podcasts, or engaging in any activity that expands your knowledge and skills.
So it's like a mini masterclass every morning.
Exactly.
I love that idea, but let's face it, the biggest hurdle for most people is actually getting out of bed at 5 a.m. What advice does the book offer for overcoming that initial resistance?
Well, the book really focuses on the power of habit formation.
Okay.
It describes a 4-part process for installing any new routine, just like downloading a software update for your brain.
Okay, I'm all ears. This is the make or break point for me.
So first, you need a trigger for that new behavior. In this case, your 5 a.m. alarm going off.
All right, easy enough. It's the next part I struggle with.
Exactly. The second step is encoding.
Encoding.
This is where the real work begins. It's about pushing through that initial resistance and discomfort of waking up early.
This is where that 66-day minimum comes into play, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It takes consistent effort to really make that new habit stick.
It does. The book warns that it won't be easy at first. You might feel like your old routine is falling apart.
Right.
But that's actually a good sign. It means you're breaking free from those old patterns.
So it's about embracing the messy middle and trusting that the results will be worth the struggle.
Absolutely. And that brings us to the third step, celebrating.
Celebrating.
This is crucial. You need to reward yourself for sticking to the new habit, even in the face of challenges.
So a little treat for becoming a 5 a.m. rock star.
Exactly. It could be something simple, enjoying a delicious breakfast or listening to your favorite music. The point is to associate the new habit with something positive and rewarding.
It's like giving your brain a little incentive to keep going.
Exactly.
Makes sense. What's the final step in this habit building process?
Integration. This is where the 5 a.m. routine becomes seamlessly woven into your life. You reach what the book calls the automaticity point.
Automaticity point. That sounds intriguing. What does that mean?
It's the point where the new habit becomes second nature. You no longer need to rely on willpower to get up at 5 a.m. It just happens.
So it's like brushing your teeth or taking a shower. It's just something you do without even thinking about it.
Exactly. And the best part is, once that habit is installed, it frees up your willpower for other goals and challenges.
It's like leveling up in a video game.
Exactly.
So we've covered a lot of ground here, the importance of mindset, the power of habits, that 20-20-20 formula. But remember, the billionaire's model in Rome also included those cryptic notations, the 90-901 rule, the 60-10 method.
Yes. Those are key elements of what he calls his framework for an amazing day.
It sounds like we've just scratched the surface of this 5 a.m. method. There's a whole world of productivity hacks waiting to be unlocked. We're back and ready to decode these productivity secrets. We left off with those cryptic notes on the billionaire's learning model, the 90-901 rule, and the 60-10 method.
Right. It's like he left us this productivity puzzle.
Yeah, like a riddle.
Exactly.
And we're here to help you solve it.
Exactly.
So let's start with the 90-901 rule.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty intense. What's the magic formula?
Well, it's about dedicating the first 90 minutes of your workday, after your 5 a.m. routine, of course,
Yes, of course.
to your single most important task. No distractions, no multitasking.
Just laser focus.
Just laser focus on that one thing that will move the needle furthest on your biggest goal.
So no checking email, no scrolling social media, no getting sidetracked by smaller tasks.
Nope, pure undiluted focus.
Wow, I like it.
And you repeat this 90-minute sprint every day for 90 days straight.
90 day.
90 days, the billionaire calls it a gargantuan competitive advantage.
That's a mouthful.
It is, but the idea is that by consistently prioritizing your most important work, you create this unstoppable momentum.
It's like front-loading your day with the most valuable work, setting yourself up for success right from the start.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's the 90-901 rule. What about the 60-10 method? Is this another time blocking technique?
It is, but this one focuses on balancing intense focus with strategic recovery.
All right.
It's about recognizing that even the most driven individuals need breaks to maintain peak performance.
Right. This reminds me of what we talked about before with the twin cycles of elite performance.
Yes.
Finding that sweet spot between pushing yourself and giving yourself space to recharge.
Exactly. The 60-10 method suggests working at your peak for 60 minutes straight in a distraction-free environment,
Okay.
and then taking a 10-minute break to recharge.
So it's like interval training, but for your brain.
I love that analogy.
Okay.
And those 10-minute breaks are crucial. Use them wisely. Step away from your desk, walk outside, read something inspiring, meditate, anything that helps you shift gears and come back refreshed.
All right, so now for those other mysterious notations on the billionaire's model.
The-
2WW and 2MP.
Right.
What are those?
It sounds like a secret code.
Yeah.
Well, they represent two habits
Yeah.
he considers essential for long-term success,
Yeah.
both physically and mentally.
All right, I'm hooked. Break it down for me.
All right, so 2WW stands for 2 workout weeks.
2 workout weeks, so exercising twice a week.
Yeah, but it's not about the frequency, it's about the intensity.
Okay.
2WW refers to 2 weeks, where you deliberately push your physical limits beyond your usual routine.
So it's about challenging your comfort zone in the gym
Exactly.
to build resilience for the challenges you face outside of it.
Right, it's about reminding yourself that you're capable of more than you think.
I like that.
And then there's 2MP, which stands for 2 massage professionals.
2 massage professionals. Is he suggesting we hire a personal massage therapist team?
Well, not quite. It's about scheduling 2 90-minute massages per week.
Wow, that's a serious commitment to self-care.
It is.
What's the thinking behind that?
Well, he argues that regular massage isn't a luxury, it's an investment in peak performance. It reduces stress, improves sleep, enhances cognitive function.
Oh, so many benefits.
It's a key part of his recovery strategy.
Okay, I have to admit, the idea of 2 massages a week is pretty tempting.
I know, right?
It's a good reminder that self-care is crucial for success, not a distraction from it.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes the 5 a.m. Club philosophy so compelling. It's not just about working harder, it's about working smarter, taking care of yourself, and aligning your actions with your goals.
It's about creating a life that is both productive and fulfilling, successful and meaningful.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that you have the power to design your ideal life.
Powerful stuff.
And as the billionaire reminds us, the shortness of life is a brilliant gift because it reminds us to go make a masterpiece of it.
What a great quote and a great note to end on. What steps will you take this week to make a masterpiece of your own life?
Maybe it's experimenting with that 20-20-20 formula, or giving the 9-9-01 rule a try, or perhaps it's simply committing to those 10-minute breaks throughout your day.
Remember, even small changes can create a ripple effect.
Start where you are and trust that you have the power to unlock your full potential. You might just find yourself joining the 5 a.m. Club sooner than you think.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the 5 a.m. Club. We hope you found it insightful and inspiring, and we look forward to exploring more fascinating topics with you in future episodes.